You're tuned in to the Jersey Comic Krew. This episode, we're talking about DC Comics updates at C2E2. What did Jim Lee say about DC? Find out now.
C2E2, which is Chicago's Comic-Con, essentially, guys, right?
It's their New York Comic-Con.
Yes. So he had a panel, his own spotlight panel, and he did talk about, he addressed a lot of the rumors. So the first thing he comes on the stage, what I really like, he's like, so any of you guys heard any good rumors lately? Like, it opens up with a joke, which is great.
Also, Jim Lee's the greatest guy.
He's such a nice guy.
Like,
I've
only met him 40 times, and
I've met him 5, and I think he's great.
I met him, I was at Boston Comic-Con 2 years ago. Sorry, sidetracking, but 2 years ago, he wasn't scheduled to be there. They made an announcement Saturday morning. It's Jim Lee's birthday.
Aww.
He's showing up to the con. He's doing a random signing because he had a 4-hour layover on a flight back to LA.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he just showed up on his birthday exhausted. And it was one book per person because the line was huge. But still, he just showed up to sign.
Why not?
It was the greatest. And it was his own birthday. And the whole con saying happy birthday to him.
So so he addressed a couple of big concerns that I want to address to you guys real quick. So first, the rumors of DC Comics going anywhere. He said, that's not true. It's not happening. It's going to be here. It was here for 85 years. It'll be here for 85 more years.
And he's like, I hope I'm here too.
And I'm like, oh my God, only 85 more years. And I was like, what are you going to do when I'm a cyborg? I'm not going to read Batman comics anymore? I mean, I guess I'll be living them.
Did you see what happened in Batman?
Oh my God. He is not a cyborg. This is riveting.
How is Bruce Wayne still alive?
He also addressed the concern of the line-wide reboot.
Yes.
He said that is not happening.
Yes.
He said they're going to continue what they do to love, is write great stories about great characters. He's like, this is something that's supposed to be fun. We're writing about superheroes who fly in the sky. That's what he wants to do. And he, mentioned briefly the DC executives that he's been working with for years and that are still there, that they'll help support it, make sure this keeps going. And then, he goes into his own personal backstory. He wanted to write for X-Men, how he did Image, and all the other stuff that we all know or we care about, but we're really concerned about the future of DC. So now this brings my question to you.
Yay.
After hearing, Jim Lee's statements, essentially, because we know he had to make a response, right?
Yeah.
Does this put any more faith back into the future of DC for you?
That's a great question. I think at least a little bit, yes. How can it not, right? Because we went from a week ago saying we don't really know the state of DC, and we're hearing that, if this new event with the 5G, which seems like it's not happening, if it doesn't work, they're shutting down the comic branch.
Yeah.
Regardless if you believed it or not, which I didn't really believe it much, it's still in the back of your mind as a possibility, right? It's still, there's a nugget there that's just
that seed of doubt.
Exactly. And it's like, if this is a thing, my favorite characters that I've grown up in and have based my morality on and life stories on and done things to be better as a man and a human being on, if that's gone.
Or a woman, no judge. No judgment.
Oh, of course, yeah, I was just talking about me.
That's why I said, or a woman. That's why I was very...
Touche. But if you're doing, if that's being taken away,
yeah,
this is not only just about a selfish reason, you're talking the start of superhero comics.
Yeah, and you're also robbing, the younger generations of falling in love with these characters, because for us, I guess me and Chris, and then a lot of you who are watching, and I guess even on a broader sense, America, right? This is our mythos. This is our mythology, right?
It is.
You have
American
Greeks,
culture to the core.
Yeah, you have Greek gods, they have that. There's the Roman ones. Everybody has their own niche. For us, it's not Zeus who came down.
Yeah.
It's Batman. It's Superman. It's Spider-Man. I know that's Marvel, but stuff like that, right? So this is kind of if you take away a core of our oral history, it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah. It's also unthinkable, right? In a system that's worked for 80 years during the Great Depression, during World War I and II, things that have happened catastrophically in the planet economically too, where it's really you're gonna pull it based on some shareholder crap, or based on some business tycoon stuff. So I think it was necessary and very smart and very needed for Jim to come out and say hey, I'm quelling this right now.
Yes.
Right? We're gonna this is it. We're not shutting down. We're not rebooting. So hopefully that means all the weird stuff with the storylines and Batman being Lucius Fox and all that weird stuff.
Those are all rumors.
That's quelled and gone.
I'm sure their whole direction is trying to create a more cohesive storyline. It seems like they're trying to do that, and it's
write good stories.
It's very hard to do. Like they're like Marvel has the luxury of like everything was one timeline, and these characters just live for like thousands of years, right?
Well, that and the MCU is doing so well.
No, I'm not even talking about. I'm just talking about the comic.
Yeah.
So like DC, they had like they did a reboot here, and then they did one here. Then there was a crisis here, and now they kind of like work themselves in the corner where they have to, push through it. It's like growing pains. Like you're trying to grow a beard, and instead of a weird part, you're trying to do something with your hair. You're gonna have some growing beard pains.
I cut mine down.
I see. You see what I'm talking about? Growing pains.
I cut it down. It was too long.
I'm doing growing pains too. I'm trying to grow this long, and then just
Oh wow. Trying to look like one of those guys who smokes meats for like 15 hours a day.
Yeah. How cool of a job is that? You just smell like smoked meat every day.
Man musk. I'll bottle it and sell it.
So the reason I have to grow the beard is that's needed on the application. You have to have that kind of beard.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
For what application? For smoked meats.
For a smoked meat man.
Yeah,
for a smoked meat man.
If you're going to be a barbecue master or a grill or smoke master,
you have
to have like a legit beard.
I'm not going to do any of the cooking. I'm going to have Mike do the cooking. I'm just going to be the face of it. I'm like, here you go. I'm like, look at that guy's beard. He can do it.
I trust him on my meat.
Exactly. So speaking of trusting people on your meat, trusting people in your comics, I think this has renewed a lot of faith that I had in DC. Mm-hmm. All that stuff before I kind of put in the background. Like you said, you put it in the back of your mind. I don't think it's real, but, you're still worried. So like this coming out, and of course, this is stuff he has to say, the company has to say, right? But still hearing it, like for us Uber fans, it's like, all right, I can take a deep breath. Hopefully they're going to get everything taken care of. Yeah. It seems like they're doing better in the movie universe. They've been knocking things arguably out of the park or a bigger success than they were. Their comics are, trending upwards. So I think we could all together breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and I think the aspect of, with no Didio and kind of saying, like...
there's no replacement for him,
There's no replacement, which I think is smart to come out and either, like, to have that decision done already. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, by the way, we're not replacing Dan. If Jim's going to be the only... kind of like, EIC editor-in-chief or, the head honcho, like, again, we talked about Jeff Johns last week, where Jim Lee's the other side of that coin. You know what I mean? Like, guy who's been drawing comics, and writing some comics, for almost, 30 years now?
Yeah. I remember, like, people are like, oh, he's just a writer. He created Image, which is arguably, it's almost as big as the main two, right? And like you have stories in there that are either on the same level or better. Like I'm reading some stuff from Image, like I couldn't believe, like it's such another section of the comic book world that made sure that like we have more than just superheroes, right? Because before Image, it was like, all right, you have the American superheroes, and then across the seas you have the Japanese manga. Now it's like, oh, we have manga, we have superheroes, we have Image unique stuff, we have Boom Studios, we have so many different
novelizations now.
Correct.
I agree 100%. And I think Jim coming out and saying, like, there's going to be no replacement for Didio. We're going forward. I think that means two things. One, Jim either pitched DC and AT&T, and they were really confident in what he was doing, and kind of assured them, like, listen, I got this. We're good. There was also...
I like that. That's probably
there was also a lot of tension rumors going on between Jeff Johns and DC. Because...
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, so Jeff was doing Doomsday Clock.
Yes,
and
which
Jeff
went nowhere.
Was also doing Shazam. He does Shazam.
Now, yeah.
And both of them were hit with so many delays. A lot of the rumors were it wasn't necessarily the art that was taking long, it was DC delaying it. Because they wanted to get it closer to whatever event that made more sense as it flowed through.
Okay.
I think Jim will be more inclined to kind of let Jeff do what Jeff does.
Because he's a creator. Like, exactly. He can relate to that.
Jeff is the creator. He is DC's ace in the hole. He is their, like, starting pitcher opening day. And if you let Jeff kind of build this universe, kind of like, remember the beginning of Rebirth, how every book was great?
Yeah.
Because Jeff was kind of working with every team to kind of get this thing forward.
Cohesive idea.
Exactly. Where you had your similarities where it flew, like it was flowing, but you also had, hey, we know that this is a Flash book. We know that this is a Superman book. We know that this is Batman. I think Jim will be more inclined to be like, hey, Jeff, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
And do your thing. Go write. Go create. And I think Jim will be able to do that. Maybe, who knows? Maybe, I mean, Jim is going to have a lot of responsibility now being on his own. I would love to get Jim Lee back on a book eventually. But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure he'll do, variant covers and stuff like that. But I think this is a good turning point. You never want to say that with someone losing their job. I think Dan Didio did a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses.
Correct.
Looking at his entire career there. I think New 52, whether you like New 52 or not, helped.
I think it was great.
I think it helped get people back into comic books.
Same with Rebirth.
And it also gave us Snyder Capullo Batman, which is one of the best Batman runs of all time. So I think there's a lot of adds and subtracting, but I think they're gearing up for this Generation Zero thing really hard.
Yeah, which we don't even know what it's about.
And I think Jim kind of mentioned it there. He's like, listen, I'm quelling rumors, but I'm also saying there are things we can't announce yet. We're not allowed to announce yet that would probably make you feel a little better too.
Of course.
And probably help with some of these rumors, but it's like, hey, we legally can't say shit yet.
Give it a couple months. We're going to know more about the event. And when we do, we're going to let you know.
Yeah. And I think that's Generation Zero, which we'll talk about later with Flash 750 and the new Comic Book Day issue. So that hopefully will kind of set things back on track.
So, guys, let us know down in the comments below what you think of Jim Lee's statement about the future of DC. Are your apprehensions calm? Are you calmer now? Does this do anything for you? Because I know some people don't even care. Let us know down in the comments below. We are definitely curious. Yeah, a lot of main people, they're like, oh, I have no idea this is even happening. I don't even care.
And if you're a Marvel fan, you don't care about what's going on in DC.
Very true.